Hello everybody, this is Anna, also known as AnnaKnitter on Ravelry. Welcome to my knitting and crocheting podcast. We've got a guest here also. I think he want to attend this show. My dog, the West Highland White Terrier Benny. He's still debating. Okay, come. There he is. Okay, this is my dog Benny. He definitely needs a trim, is it right? Okay, sorry, welcome to my knitting podcast. For those of you who are tuning in the first time, a warmly welcome. It's nice to have you here and I hope you will enjoy what you see, and I have lots to show you today. And for those who are watching my podcast regularly, mwah, thank you so much. After my last upload a week ago, I realized that you really do appreciate what I'm doing here on my channel. I can't believe it. We have 2,000 subscribers. It exploded for me and my view on the numbers. The numbers aren't really important to me, but it was obvious that I was gaining subscribers and clicks since my last upload, and so that shows me, and all the likes under the last video, that shows me, okay, you like what you see and you want me to go on. And that motivated me so much, so that I decided to upload another video. I don't know if I stay with weekly, but now during the holidays it's a little bit easier for me and my mojo is strong, so it looks good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah, so much. Okay. Since I have last podcasted, I was knitting a lot. Like in the old good times. I'm a teacher, so I have summer holidays. I have a lot to do during the holidays. I told you that I have to write my master's thesis, and I did a lot on that. And there will be a seminar I have to attend for 1 week and lots of other stuff, preparing for the school year. But on the weekend I decided, Anna, you deserve knitting time. You deserve spare time without feeling guilty. Because the problem is sometimes I allow myself spare time, but I'm feeling guilty all the time. So I can't really enjoy this time. Okay, but now I allowed myself, you deserve spare time with knitting. And so I have knitted a lot. Okay, I have 3 finished objects for you to show you. The first I want to show you are my Christmas socks from last year. I haven't finished them. I never finished the seasonal socks in the season. I don't know why. It's how it is. Last year I finished the socks from the year before, and so it's the same this year. Okay, here are, that's easier. Hi. Here are my Christmas socks. This is an Austrian yarn. It's made by Wolle. It's an Austrian company. Wolle, it's, I would say, 6-ply sock yarn, so like heavy fingering or light DK weight. I have cast on 14 stitches per needle. So normally I have 16 per needle. Now I used 14 stitches, and I used a fingering weight for toe and heel, but I held it double and it worked. It's a little bit thicker, but it worked, and they are very soft. I think these will be very sturdy, but also very soft socks. Magst du die auch? Magst du die auch? Ja? Okay. Du bist so süß. Okay, my Christmas socks. You can see, okay. The self-striping in these is perfect, in my opinion. They are so pretty. I use 2.5mm needles because I'm a very loose knitter. Most people would use for this sock yarn 3mm. It was suggested 3mm, but yeah, I'm knitting too loose. I can't stop showing them because they are so pretty. Ooh, 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 ooh. Christmas in July. I'm feeling Christmas. Yesterday I listened to the first Christmas song this year, Andrea Bocelli, Adeste Fidelis. It has something to do with the show my boyfriend and I were watching yesterday. We watched the chart show and it was music from the 90s, and the winner of the show was Andrea Bocelli, but with another song. It was with Time to Say Goodbye. And then they showed some of his songs and talked about him. And my most favorite song sung by him is not written by him. It's Adeste Fidelis. And Adeste Fidelis, sung by Andrea Bocelli, is the ultimate version of it. I love that. When I'm hearing that, I gotta cry. And I cried yesterday. Yeah, Christmas is already here. Christmas in July. I always start feeling Christmas in the hottest summer. Always, I'm already thinking about Christmas. That leads us to my next finished object. It's a Christmas gift for someone. Also a pair of socks. Not on sock blockers because I only have one pair. This is also German sock yarn. This is Regia 6-ply again, and the contrasting white also is Regia 6-ply. The colorway is called Norway, and it was a present last year. No, the year before last year in Vlogmas, so 2017, and it was a present by Lily from the Nordic Stitches podcast, greeting you. Mwah. And she lives in Norway, and she knows that I want to travel Norway someday. I hope to, because I love the Scandinavian countries and the people and the spirit there and the landscape and everything about it. And so she gifted me the Norway colorway. I can't say too much about the amount of stitches and foot size and everything, because you never know who is watching and if the recipient is watching. So I won't talk about this in detail, but you can find everything about it on my Ravelry project page for this sock or pair of socks. And I think I have enough left. Oh, I knit these on 3mm needles, that I can say. And I have enough left, I guess, to make another pair for me. And I have something from this left. So I feel like doing contrasting toe and heel makes it possible to use to crank out, I would say, to crank out more socks out of one skein of yarn. They are so pretty. Yeah, so bulky, soft, woolly winter socks. So I really like Regia. Regia has so pretty colors. Okay, last time showing. Huge. Okay, that was my second finished object. And my next finished object is the object I am most excited about, and I can't wait. I can't wait to wear it. But I have to wait until winter, because it's the Weasley sweater. It is done, and I will insert a video of me wearing it and showing you the sweater in detail. So I hope you were able to see the pullover in a better way than like only showing it this way. I have followed the pattern, but I changed it a little bit. what did I do? I closed the side seams with my crochet hook. So I crocheted it together. I hope you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. Because it's easier, faster and tidier, in my opinion, because I'm not that good with a darning needle. Why did I do this? I did this before the pattern told me, because I wanted to knit the sleeves in the round. They were meant to be knit flat and then, you know, Frank piece them into this thing. But I did this once with my Georgetown cardigan and I hated the process. I hate it, you know, and I see no reason for it because it's an oversized tweed cardigan and I think it's just fine. I see no difference. Look here, everything is just perfect. It is perfect and it made my life easier. So that's what I did. I picked up stitches for the collar, but more than the pattern suggested because I needed more. I don't know. I think you don't have to be so crucial with patterns. They tell you pick up the live stitches and then pick up and knit, I don't know, 16 or 18 stitches and then pick up the next live stitches and then pick up, but that wouldn't have been nice. Yeah, there would have been too big gaps. I don't know why, but it was like this and I think it's nice. And then I duplicate stitched the letter A. I searched the internet. I don't know where I found the pattern for the letter. Maybe on Pinterest or so. I have forgotten, I'm sorry. But the internet is great. You find every letter in every possible font. Yeah, and so I duplicate stitched it. I have to say I did this in 3 meetings with this sweater. So I started and I had a very hard, where did I start? Here. And I had a very hard time. I had to rip it out very often because the stitches aren't that regular because the yarn isn't very regular. It's tweed and some parts of the yarn were thicker than other parts which were thinner, so it's a rustic tweed yarn, so that's normal. That made it a little bit more difficult to duplicate stitch and to find the next stitch. Sometimes I was getting too high or too low, so I had to rip it back. But then I was getting into the flow and I found out how to do it, and yeah, so it turned out very, very nice in my opinion for first time duplicate stitching. In the beginning it was a pain in the ass, I have to say, but afterwards it was fun. When I was like here after doing this and this, I was like here and I enjoyed the process. I think with a more even yarn it's more fun, I guess. Yeah, but I did a few stitches and then I left this sweater, watched an episode of The Closer in the living room, drank beer or iced coffee or whatever or martini, I don't know, I can't remember anymore. And then I went back to the sweater. I was motivated again and stitched on, and this I did 3 times. And I was starting when I was hungry. I was able to hear my belly already doing funny noises because I was hungry, but I wanted to get the sweater done before eating. I'm a stupid person. I'm sorry. With these things, I'm so stupid. I always think, oh, no. I want to finish this first and then I have a free evening. Or I want to do this first because then I can enjoy this or that better. That's stupid. Let's face it, it's stupid. It's a kind of my OCD or perfectionism, if that's a word in English. So I relaxed and said to myself, I don't have to do this in one step or in one row, I can leave this sweater. It was laying on the desk and I was leaving it and came back to it and I finished it in one evening. But it took a little time. But the result is very, very, very nice. Now I will show you the back side of the A because I haven't woven in the ends. I wanted to show you how it looks because I didn't use long strands of yarn. Do you say strands of yarn? Because I learned from my mom regarding stitching. So in German we say langes Fädchen, faules Mädchen. I try to translate. Long strand, lazy girl, it says. So with stitching, my mom taught me it's not so good to use long yarn pieces because you are pulling too much through the stitch or through the hole and that will make it wiggly woggly and not nice and so on. So I had to use a new yarn very often and I show you the ends. There are many ends. But I think doing intarsia would have created nearly as many ends or even more. Okay, I still have to weave them in, but it's not a problem. One time it happened that I created a loop. Where is it? Where is it? Here. Yeah. Anna and a darning needle. I will cut this and weave in the end. And one time I did something like this. I don't know how this was happening. It was the beginning. But in general, I would say all in all, it's a nice work. And oh yes, after casting off the pullover, I was a little bit nervous because it was so bulky here, so stiff and bulky. I know it is meant to be oversized, but there was fabric in my way and it was very not nice looking, not very good. And it was a little short, as I told you in the last episode. But I always wait for blocking. And what means blocking? No, not really blocking, only washing, so soaking it and then lay down flat to dry. I didn't block it into dimensions. Yeah, and it grew a little bit. It was getting longer and the fabric is now more relaxed, I would call it. It's not so like, I feel like often knit fabric after casting off is like, oh, we don't like it. And after washing, so soaking it, it's like, okay, we are relaxed now. I don't know how I could describe it in a better way. So yeah, that is my Weasley sweater. Maybe not the last. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I see me knitting a Weasley sweater for another person. That's always a thing. Garments for other people is difficult with sizing and so on. But maybe for me, in red or so, or a brown one. Every year another Weasley sweater. Call me Molly Weasley. No. Yeah, so that is my last finished object. I call it finished object, although the ends aren't woven in now, but I think you can count this as a finished object. I wanted to show you the back side. I always find this very interesting to see, you know, the real stuff. Not only like, oh, it's so pretty. No, you have to see the real stuff also. Now we come to whips. I worked on one other whip and I started a new project. One whip is my Mojito sock. I am at the heel now. When I showed you last time, so since last time showing, I knit dark green, light green up to inclusive the heel. I'm nearly finished. I think 8 rows of the heel are still to knit, and then yeah, this kind of 3.5 color repeats. Yeah, or 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 3.5. Yeah, these I'm knitting on 2mm needles. Normally I use 2.5, but West Yorkshire spinners are very thin. It's a very sturdy yarn, but if you knit it on a loose gauge, they get very airy on the sole. I ruined my first Christmas socks I made because I knit with 2.5mm needles, and I can't wear them anymore because they are totally airy on this side. I think you call it foot sole. Really airy, not one big hole, but you can see through them, through the fabric. Yeah, and that's because of the loose gauge. Okay, that is one work in progress. Not so exciting because I showed you last week, but now I show you my new cast on. Okay, I have everything here in this box. I started the, I don't know how to pronounce, Hume, I don't know, by Isabel Kramer. I am still at the yoke part and increasing part. That's what I have done. How can I show you in a proper way? Yeah, that's what I have done. This is also worn with positive ease. In the beginning it was confusing me how to calculate which size I have to cast on, but this is the second smallest size. For my real measurements I needed the smallest size, and with calculating the positive ease I needed the second smallest size. So sorry. Yeah, there is a little lace pattern on the yoke, a very common and not difficult lace pattern. And after finishing the yoke, it's only straightforward, only plain stockinette. And I'm looking forward to that. What yarn am I using? It's Norwegian yarn. Yoo-hoo! It's Sandnes garn. So I show you the balls. The one is the tynn linne. I hope I pronounced it right. It means in English thin linen. And there's 53% cotton, 33% viscose and 40% linen. Made in Norway. Bought from a Danish man. And in my most favorite color, blue. I have bought it online, but from a yarn shop in Vienna because I'm too lazy to go to the, I think, 18th district. There is the Lille Boutique, and that's where I have it from. And they are retailers from Sandnes garn. And the second yarn, I'm holding it together, is Tynn silk mohair. It's one of the few mohair yarns without alpaca, and that is the reason why I can finally knit with mohair. I started some mohair projects many years ago now, but it was always itchy because of the high content of alpaca. But this is 57% mohair, 28% silk, 50% wool. These Scandinavian words are looking so funny. Ungeskyllemiddel. Ma vaske separat. I'm butchering this, definitely. It sounds so funny. Okay, there was the same color, so I could have bought this in this color, but I asked the shop owner via email, and they said yes, we can do this, but this would look prettier. So I decided to do what they say, and I think it's very nice. Very, very nice. Do you see this progress? No, not progress keeper. Stitch marker. It's so delicate. I made it because I find them so pretty. I saw them multiple times in different colors, and I think it's so pretty. And I can't really use longer hanging jewelry for stitch markers because that will create letters in my knitting. So I made these in different colors. Yeah. 3mm needle gave me gauge. I'm using this gauge. And, oh, an important information for sensitive people. I washed this as the tag told me to do. So that means in the washing machine on 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah. And I laid it under my garments, and I was walking around with this in the flat, and I laid it everywhere on my skin where I could be a little bit sensitive, especially around the neck area, and I put it here, and I was walking around and so on, and my skin was fine. Now knitting with this, holding it against my skin is like, no. So don't be afraid. Do a swatch and you will realize it will soften up. I don't know what is going on here, but it is so much softer after washing. Trust me. I'm excited how it will be as a garment, and I hope it won't be irritating next to my skin, but the swatch is soft. It's not like cashmere. You feel the mohair, but I think it's okay. Yeah, so another good reason for doing a swatch. That is my newest project. As you maybe have seen on my Instagram, I couldn't decide which pullover to cast on first, but I was thinking about this yarn already so much that I have decided, no, Anna, start with this. And after finishing this, or after finishing other projects, I will knit another pullover, which wasn't on my Make 9 list. I will show you. Wait. I have 5 skeins of this Malabrigo Arroyo Choco. It's the same yarn I have done my feathers in the wind cardigan, but in another colorway. I really like this yarn. It is very soft. It is so nice to work with. The stitch definition is awesome. It is great. And I love this colorway also. I wanted to do the timeless Henley with this, then I didn't want to do it anymore, and now I have decided to do, because the gauge is perfect for that, to do this pullover with a little less positive ease. What did I calculate? I think she is calling for 10 to 12 inches of positive ease, and that is a lot, and I think I will do 8 to 10 or so. Yeah, because I saw a project page by a lady who reknit the sweater after finding out that much positive ease doesn't look good on her, and I have realized I would have the same problem, so that will be my next project. Well, my next, very soon, this will be a project for me. And another project very soon will be socks out of this beautiful yarn. I have received as a gift by a lovely, lovely, lovely viewer. You know who you are. And this sock set is DK weight yarn, and it is called Scent Powder. And I guess it means, in German, I guess it's doing stuff in the, oh, no, look on the screen. I don't know how to describe this in English. But what you play as a child, you know, with sand and these small, I don't know how to say that. Okay, Hedgerow yarns. I have never knit with them, but it's feeling great, and the colors are so pretty. So pretty. Yeah, I want to make socks with these. because I enjoyed knitting with thicker yarn. I really enjoyed it. Not only because it's faster, but also it's so cozy. Yes. So these are my projects. Is there anything else? So I think that was everything knitting wise. I haven't crocheted on my temperature blanket because it is very hot again. We have over 30 degrees Celsius at the moment and it is hot. And I so much enjoy that I like knitting again because I was missing it. And I was watching many podcasts lately because I have to catch up with all the episodes of all the great podcasters. I haven't watched because I wasn't feeling it. When I don't knit, I often don't like people talking about knitting. It's stupid, I don't know why, but it is like it is. So I have watched everything from Tristan now, so Woolenwein, but only the knitting sections of her podcast, which are getting very, very, very short. Unfortunately, she is talking much about sewing and blathering and so on, and sometimes the knitting segment is only 10 minutes or so. That is so sad because I really like watching her and listening to her talking about knitting. She has something very unique. Yeah, she's a very unique person and has a great personality, and so it's very interesting for me to see what she's knitting and why. And yeah, sadly it's a little bit thin around or with her knitting lately. Then I have watched all the episodes, full episodes of the This Old Knit podcast made by Nina. I'm watching her since, oh my gosh, since years now. I can remember an old episode. That was the episode with which I have, or during watching which I have decided I have to watch her. She is awesome. That was when she was in a hotel room because there was a business travel she had to do, a meeting somewhere, and she took all her knitting projects with her, and she came from the meeting, and afterwards she was podcasting in the late evening in her hotel room, and she was showing off her 10-stitch blanket. By the way, Nina, if you are watching, what is with your 10-stitch blanket? Is the blanket finished already? Because I'm so curious about this. You know, the black white with the yarn with this yarn you have from a yarn crawl, I think. A second-hand yarn, I think it was. It would be interesting. Because I was doing the 10-stitch blanket back then also, because I have never done what everybody is doing, because sometimes I don't like it or it's too complicated for me, and everyone was doing the cozy memories. And I was doing the 10-stitch blanket, and then I saw, oh my gosh, she's doing the 10-stitch blanket. No one is doing this. So now I have given up on knitting blankets because it's taking so long and I don't enjoy the process so much. Maybe baby blankets, but not full-sized adult blankets. I'm crocheting them now. One viewer told me that she is inspired to do the Battenberg blanket also. That is so great. Please post photos somewhere in our threads. It would be interesting for me to see how it's turning out. I will wait until I think Advent or fall, because there are so many other things I still have to do. And I have on the hooks and needles, and I still have my cotton blanket. It's half finished. That's stupid. But yeah, maybe I should finish this first. Then I was watching her RAVELRY name is Trochilita, maybe a bit difficult for English speaking viewers, I'm sorry. She has a German speaking podcast, so a German podcast. She's from Vienna, so I was catching up with her, but there are still episodes I have to watch. I am missing Sarah from the Love Sockwool podcast very much. I hope so much that she will be podcasting soon again, because she has such a sunny personality. Yeah. I don't know if I'm too late to the party now. Well, party isn't the right word for that, but I think it's a phrase, an English phrase to say to be late on something. I have written already in our RAVELRY group about this topic a little bit. During my last crafting pause and the pause before, Instagram and Ravelry were very overheated because of politics and being not inclusive and stuff. And I was realizing it only by browsing through my Instagram feed, and there was one post after another with content like I stand with Ravelry, or this area should be inclusive and so on. And I was asking myself, my dear, what is going on here? So I did a little bit of research, and I didn't know what to say about what was happening because I wasn't understanding the conflict so much because I had too few information. Now I think I know what the problem was. There was something with a pattern which was obviously a little bit too much racist and nationalistic. Is that the right word? Nationalistisch in German. And pro Donald Trump. I think that was it. And then someone disliked it and reported it, I think, to Ravelry. And then the other people chased after her. Is that the right word? So it was not nice. Okay, I understand. Now I understand. I think that was the conflict. Because when I was reading the new policies of Ravelry, I was like, what? That can't be true. To forbid a certain opinion regarding politics and only allow the other opinions, politic-wise, is a thing I can't say positive things about. I'm honest, I don't like Donald Trump. Everything I know about him is horrible, really. I think I don't like him, and I don't have to like him, but I think I have to accept that other people like him, and he is voted, and he is the president of the United States of America. So to say to the users of Ravelry, you are not allowed to talk about Donald Trump in a positive way. If you do so, we will ban you. I mean, that's not democracy. I'm sorry, that is not democracy, and I can't understand that. And I don't like Trump, but I have no problem with other people liking him. I don't know, I'm Catholic. Many people won't like my religion, or many people will have big problems with my church because of all the bad things many priests did, especially in the USA the last month. And I can understand that, and I respect that, because that is freedom, right? Not only freedom of speech, but also freedom of thoughts. And what is not okay and should be banned, absolutely, and it's absolutely my opinion, and I agree with Ravelry, if someone is posting racist things, or if someone is willing to, it's difficult in English for me, to hurt other people because of gender, sexuality, color of the skin, or whatever. If someone is noticing that, I can totally understand, and we have to say, hey Ravelry, look here, this person is violating another person because of color of skin or belief or whatever. Please do something against it. Absolutely. That is, in the internet has to be a safe place, and it's often not. In the most cases, in the internet, the conversations are full of hatred, often for no reason. I especially in the German-speaking communities, it's so much hating and offending, and I don't understand that. And so if Ravelry is doing something against it, that would be awesome. And for me and my podcast and my group, everyone is welcome. I don't care if you believe in God or not, if you are a Muslim or a Buddhist or an atheist. I don't care about that. I don't care about your skin color. I don't care. And I don't understand why people hate other people because of how they look like, or because of the country they are coming from, or because of their political opinion, or because of their gender or sexuality. I can't understand that. And I won't allow that in my community. And if I see someone is offending another person because of the reason I talked about, I will do something against it. I will promise that. But what I can't understand, and I really can't understand that, is that if we live in a democracy, I have to be able to say what I think, even if other people don't like what I'm saying. And I'm not talking about offending other people. I'm talking about if someone is saying, oh, I like Donald Trump. So if someone is saying that, I think Ravelry shouldn't be allowed to say, you said you like Donald Trump. Okay, sorry, we have to delete your profile also. That's what I don't understand. And when I was reading through the feed and everyone was saying, I stand with Ravelry, I thought, yeah, in general, I do too. But they are cutting our freedom also. And even if it is for safety, it's less freedom. And that's a thing, I'm very allergic to that. Although I don't like Donald Trump, and I won't have any problems with that, because I won't ever post something positive about him or something negative. Because the second thing I want to talk about, there is too much politics in Ravelry and Instagram lately, in our knitting community. What is wrong with them? I don't know why we have to do this in our spare time. And for many, many people, Ravelry or knitting or crocheting, watching podcasts is refuge the right word? You know, the shelter you come under if you're feeling stressed or have anxiety, or if you are not happy with your life, how it is at the moment, and you can't do nothing about it. And then you grab your knitting needles, or you turn on your favorite podcast, or you go into the forums of Ravelry, and you hide from that and you can come to yourself again. But if this place or these places are getting too much political, that's not a refuge anymore. Then it's the same as opening Facebook and someone is posting, oh, this politician is awful, and then someone else is posting, oh, this politician is awful, and no, you are right, no, you are wrong. Ugh, I don't know why someone is posting something about Donald Trump in Ravelry. I don't understand that. Why? Maybe Ravelry should have said, talking politics in general, no matter which political opinion you have, is forbidden. That's a thing I can understand. That's a thing I can live with. But to select one political opinion and to say we don't allow this, that is wrong. That is not okay. That is like, no, that me, so I as a German, you know, get very allergic when someone is telling me we don't allow this specific political opinion. Then my alarm is ringing and I say, whoa, it's not so long ago we had this in Germany and I don't want to have this again. So that's a thing, oh, I can't, yeah. And I was thinking about, should I talk about it or not? But yeah, here it is, I said it, sorry. So definitely, I don't allow in my place in the internet, in my little nook in the internet, racist or, oh, is this sexistic, is that a word? Or other postings against other people. I will delete them or block them, or how it's called, and I will report to Ravelry that they do something against it. I haven't experienced it yet in our group and in this channel, never, so there wasn't the need for it. But that's the thing I really do appreciate about Ravelry, that they are looking that the internet is getting a safer place. But to ban people because of their political opinion about a person who is democratically voted as the President of the United States, that's suspect, in my opinion. Is that the right word? If something is... No, or is it suspicious? I think suspicious is the right word. My alarm clocks are ringing. My alarm is ringing when I'm hearing that. So, and again, sorry for all the people who like Donald Trump. I don't like him. But although I'm saying that, yeah, freedom of speech, freedom of thoughts is important to me. Yeah. Okay. Sorry if this was too political. That was my last political statement, because I want this to be a fun place and not a political place. And in Austria, politics are very stressful lately, and I'm not very content with our political situation here, and we have to re-vote. But it's too complicated for me to explain this in English, so I'm sorry. Maybe you can do your research via Google and you know what was going on here. It was awful. Awful. Yeah. Okay, so that's the reason why I don't want to hear something about politics anymore in my spare time and during my knitting time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming back again, and hopefully we will see each other next week. Bye bye.